third proposed resolution for the Board of Supervisors of our over $2.51 billion congressionally embezzled county of Sonoma in our $224.75 billion congressionally embezzled state of 754 God-fearing congressionally lynched dead Californians to quit claiming real property back to John Jankel. Whereas number one, all 5 members of the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors allowed Sonoma County Sheriff's Department on April 21st, 2011 to unconstitutionally levy upon and seize 2.85-acre horse pasture owned by John Jankel, the 9/11 bounty hunter, assessor's parcel number 130180065, without a trial by jury, just compensation, or court orders, in violations of 22 constitutional laws, and in gross pretense of legal authority in violation of California Penal Code Section 146B, based on a constitutionally defective, never examined $349,760 California Superior Court default judgment against John Jankel and those 1 through 10 defendants, who are not the true defendants in case number SCB 238697, based on fraud upon the court and treasonous judicial conduct for double alleged damage from well water occasionally trespassing down a 13% slope in winter onto commercial property where laws against trespassing do not apply. Whereas number 2, agents for the Paul Hobbs Winery Limited Partnership, a state-protected non-living thing with no human rights, claimed under oath that occasional well water, which they led the court to believe caused a 13% slope to become, quote, more like a marsh, unquote, that allegedly killed 8 healthy, over 100-year-old indigenous Douglas fir trees out of
Michelle Miller, followed by Maria Hallstrom. We've taken about 10 more minutes of public comments, so for those public commenters not able to comment, you will have an opportunity after the afternoon hearings.
No amount of water can make, quote, ground, end quote, on a 13% slope, quote, more like a marsh, quote, because in the real world, water runs down a 13% slope. This was fraud upon the court, but the true defendants were silenced, and there was no cross-examination under terrorized California judicial officer Gary Nadler in favor of the winery's lying and terrorizing attorney John A. Holdridge. Whereas number 3, Paul Hobbs Winery LP, a California limited partnership plaintiff, end quote, defrauded the court in order to cheat and defraud John Jankel, the officially vexing 9/11 bounty hunter, who is one of 16, quote, inclusive at all times mentioned co-defendants, end quote, out of $349,760 in California Superior Court meritless tort-turn land grabs case number SCV 238697. These trees apparently were poisoned in order to maintain an otherwise proven fraudulent tort case in violation of California Penal Code Section 182A, 3 Whereas number 4, quote, John Jankel and those 1 through 15 inclusive defendants, end quote, as filed in fraudulent tort-turned land grabs case number SCV 238697, were not allowed by California Judicial Officer Gary Nadler to appear in a California Superior Court on February 20th, 2008 to exercise their constitutionally secured privilege of habeas corpus and sacred, inalienable, inviolate, and constitutionally secured rights to defend themselves from plaintiff's lies and his fatally defective second complaint, which read before saving Honorable Judge John Goldman, determined had, quote, a fatal defect, end quote, in a mystery case. Whereas number 5, this documented defraud upon the court and judicial misconduct was perversions of justice and the due administration of the laws.
I'll continue. Whereas number 5, this documented defraud upon the court and judicial misconduct was perversion of justice and the due administration of the laws in violations of California Penal Code Section 182, 84, and 5. Whereas number 6, this perversion of justice and the due administration of the laws was the basis of a treasonously awarded, fraudulent on its face, never examined $349,760 default judgment against attorney judge fabricated defendants John Jankel and those 1 through 10 defendants. quote unquote, in fraudulent tort-term land grabs case number SCV 238697. This proven trumped-up case was filed on May 19th, 2006 against John Jankel and Does 1 through 15, inclusive defendants, who are DA 9/11 Truth Campaign. Whereas, number 7, the above never cross-examined, fraud-based, and improper Superior Court action by California Judicial Officer Gary Nadler violates his and every California public officer's oath of office and public employment contract to support and defend, quote unquote, every defendant's privilege to appear in court under habeas corpus, and every defendant's right secured by the First, Fourth, Fifth, Seventh, and 14th Amendments, and rights guaranteed by sections 1, 2, 3, 7, 11, 13, 15, 16,
Colleen
17,
Fernald.
19, 24, 26, and 30.
I'm going to take one more public speaker on non-agendized matters after Ms. Fernald, Mr. Jankel, so that could be you or anybody else, but anybody else, if not afforded the opportunity, you will be afforded that opportunity after the
Would you
afternoon.
let somebody else please speak now?
Ms. Fernald?
Hi, you're going to want to get this one on tape today. Today is Bob Dylan's 75th birthday, and we know him.
Mr. Jankel, this is not your time, this is Ms. Fernald's time, so I'm going to ask you to step back. Thank you.
You'll like it. You'll like it. Just listen, please. Okay, so he's famous for helping us with human rights and trying to stop unconstitutional wars of choice, and it's pretty sick that Obama's over in Vietnam saying, hooray, let's sell some more war toys. I'm sick of it. So your job is to help Congress right now defund Public Law 107243. Right now, Barbara Lee and her bipartisan commission. Are you talking to Huffman? Are you talking to Thompson? This will help you fund everything here that needs your attention. So, folk music. My rights, human, and my rights as a victim were denied when I went to your law enforcement oversight guy, Jerry 3. First time, he listened. The second time, he didn't. What was different was I gave him all the documents on Mr. John Jankel's illegal seizure by this county, an illegal sale of his property. And then this time, he violated my rights as a victim. But things have to change with that oversight. Now, to do some healing for our country, I'm going to sing with my remaining songs. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. You can help me along. Hello. I'm Dr. C. Hold on to your best hats. I'm here with vital figures and facts of the oh so inconvenient truth of how your oath is not supported by your acts. I'm here to derail the light train, cause it's clear that conductors are far beyond insane. They're terrorizing psychopaths, endlessly refusing to do the full cost math on the real life and death cost of conducting unconstitutional, undeclared wars of choice. What price can you put on those lives hurt and lost?
John Jankel, this is our last speaker on matters not listed on today's agenda. I do apologize. We do have a very busy afternoon. So anyone that wishes to address the board on non-agendized matters didn't have an opportunity will have that opportunity after the conclusion of our last matter this afternoon. Mr.
Chairman,
Jankel?
this is a document that has a picture of you and 4 other supervisors on the cover. And this was the board of 2011 that allowed the Sheriff's Department to seize and levy, without a court order, my third property, which is my horse pasture. And I think one of the supervisors, Shirley Zane, is an animal lover. And Shirley Zane, I'm having trouble keeping weight on my older horses because that pasture's gone. It's occupied by Paul Hobbs Winery, who are, in my humble opinion, and I can prove it beyond doubt to any jury, domestic enemies of the state of California. So you're giving them aid and comfort by allowing the sheriff deputy, the sheriff of this state, of this county, to seize and destroy my property, to seize and take my property. It was a treasonous act, an executive act by this board. And I want to remind you, there was no judicial support. It was strictly an executive act. So for that reason, Mr. Chairman, I would like for you to consider an agenda item to consider this resolution to quitclaim that property back to me the next meeting. And if you refuse today here, sir, you're giving aid and cover to domestic enemies, and you're committing more treason. So will you please agenda an item, and you can break this agenda on an emergency basis under the Brown Act, because I think you'd like to avoid a treason charge.
Jankel, you have 15 seconds remaining.
Therefore, you will not agenda. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, sir. Mr. Deputy, would you please arrest this man for treason? Deputy Steve Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Jankel. The board will now move to the afternoon
Sir, I
hearing
will
this
arrest
afternoon.
you.
Thank you, sir.
It's called a citizen's arrest.
We are moving to item number 59. This is conservation planning update and authorize general manager to execute other agreements in the amount of $75,000 to support board-directed planning activities. Do we have staff from the Ag Preservation Open Space District with us this afternoon? Okay. I am going to do this. I'd rather not take the next item because my guess is that it may be a couple of hours or a few hours for vacation rental inclusion zone. So let's see here.